Yes. Do you know what happened this week? Oh, I know. Well, you know how Cassie's photo got released? I might have heard something about it. Well, it seems that in one of his indie matches, he did a pedigree, or took a pedigree rather, and he kicked out of it. You don't say. Yes.
Omega?
This is pretty disturbing. What are you doing, Omega?
Well, I'm just, joking around.
With who?
It doesn't matter. Let's just start the show. Hello, and welcome to Woo Gets Serious, number 98. We are 2 episodes away from our 100th episode. As you may have noticed, we are missing our esteemed colleague, Gunner. We're not sure where he is, but I can say for sure that he has not, I repeat, not been sold into sex slavery in Latveria. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the news.
Wait a minute, aren't you forgetting something?
Like what?
Intros!
Oh yeah, on my left in the table of cyberspace, we have the brilliant, the fearless, the always cunning, but ever so humble Omega BR.
Yeah, I could have sworn you were about to say that, Jess.
Oh yeah, and Net Jester's here too, so let's get into the news.
Hold it, you hammonagers. I, Bobby the Brain Net Jester, have to introduce my newest find for professional wrestling world. He is none other than the Jewish Jiu-Jitsu master, the guy who will piss off your mazel tov. He is none other than the kosher butcher, and his amazing finishing move, the circumcision. More than you hammonagers deserve.
You're awful, Net Jester. So, WWE's number one priority right now is building up Raw and SmackDown so they can be in control when negotiating TV rights fees, with some believing they can quadruple their fees if the ratings are good. This is why the big 12-man tag team match main evented Raw right before the Survivor Series. There's talk of doing a promotion where WrestleMania 30 would be free to all new subscribers to the WWE network, the feeling being most would not cancel, and it would be a great way to make the network an instant hit. Also, WWE stock officially topped a market cap of over $1 billion, that is billion with a B, dollars this past week.
Once again, $8 billion company, it would seem.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Texas Roadhouse really helped me out.
Damn, what'd you get, a
ribs and pulled pork. Actually,
Oh, I want one of those.
They make you, I hear they make you clean up all the shows and films.
they don't actually.
But ladies and
The
gentlemen,
economy and all.
quick introduction. Our guy we thought was formerly sold into sex slavery has now joined us, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
no, Net Jester. I said that he was not sold into sex slavery in Latveria.
Say he is.
I might as well have been. Where are we?
So, Gunner, if you want to get the format link, it's in the channel description. We are live on the air right now, but it doesn't matter because no one is listening anyways. WWE, over $1 billion. Jesus Christ. I wish I had bought into that.
Yeah, I don't understand how they expect to, get 4 times their fees, much less 4 cents more than what they're getting with the way some of the decisions they're making. I mean, they're very much, maybe this is me as a quote-unquote smart fan saying this, but, when you've reset the main event 2 times in as many months, and, a lot of the rest of TV doesn't seem that interesting. They think compelling TV is themes like Raw Country and bringing in, what's his name, the morning guy come in and guest host, and the rest of the show still lacks from a real basis of, creativity or storytelling.
And let's face it, even though they're $1 billion company, the stock is only at 15.12 as of the end of business on the stock exchange today. So, it ain't doing too much.
Well, that's really good, actually, considering that we had it drop below $9 earlier this year.
Looking back at the 5-year chart, yeah, you're right. Wow.
Well, I think their idea is that they want to quadruple the fees so they can make more money, and that's why they're doing things like giving away 12-man tag team matches that should be on pay-per-view, on free TV. I can understand why they would want to make more money. That makes sense. I want to make more money. I want to make lots of money. I would like to quadruple my income as well. Is it likely to happen? I don't think so. As far as the WrestleMania 30 being free to subscribers of the WWE Network,
That's perfect. I think that's perfect.
yes, it's a good plan. Because that's why they give away free subscriptions to things, even is because they know that people are going to just let it lapse and be like, oh shit, I forgot that was even there. And then, they forget the next month too, or whatever. I think giving away free is a good way to get people to subscribe. Once they announce this, like real public, where everybody can see it and not just the people who are way ahead of the curve by listening to our show. I think once people see that, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm going to subscribe because I want to get the free WrestleMania, and then, maybe they'll keep it because they like it, or maybe they'll keep it because they just forget about it, and that's it.
Or if you want to quadruple, you could always manage the kosher butcher.
Stop it. So,
By the way, I'd like to commend Yankum for participating with us on his holiday. Happy Hanukkah, buddy. Shema.
Yes, we forget.
it's not even a major holiday.
Anyways,
I thought that was
so tomorrow,
later.
something like that. I thought it was the evening today.
It,
Speaking of things that I thought, according According to the Observer, the group that is interested in buying TNA, whose name is circulated online, has backed out. The super are interested still in play, but wants complete ownership rather than just a stake. Jeff Jarrett would be expected to gain power if sales take place, since he's involved in getting the deal rolling and has taken a more active role in production as of late. Dave Lagana has been trying to bring in good new workers, including stars from ROH, such as Roderick Strong. TNA has also signed a new multi-year TV deal in Japan with MTV and G+. So the backstage at NXT noted that F4W that it was shocking how stressed out officials were about Impact returning to Orlando across town. Go figure, right? Them actually getting their shit together and then potentially, causing some sort of competition here. That would just be really, really bad, wouldn't it?
Well, when you're talking about TNA, I think that's nearly unheard of, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know. It's very, very good because in a couple months from now, you're gonna see that play out, and a couple months from now is WrestleMania. Go figure it.
Yeah, that'll be a way to steal the headlines.
It is kind of funny how WWE seems not obsessed, but a little more concerned with TNA than perhaps they should be, given how much bigger they are than them and such. But when it comes to their own company and their own growth, they don't seem nearly as incensed. I mean, obviously, when ratings are down and everything, they come up with their own solutions. But, when it comes to things that might actually help, like, looking at the whole picture, not resetting main event programs, things like that, they seem just blind to it.
Just seems kind of funny that they would just go off and do this, oh God, suddenly TNA coming in and working, their indie shows next door is gonna really, move ratings. But good for them for keeping their Japan stuff, and good for oh Jesus Christ, I'm mad at over here.
And all the new talent coming in, not just AJ going to different places, but they can get some Ring of Honor stars. And,
it was bringing it back to TNA. They're bringing back TNA to 2006 status, which, if you all remember 2006 TNA, it was fucking awesome.
A long time ago.
So speaking of 2006, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards debuted in NXT as the American Pitbulls, John Cano and Eric Philbin. Although they haven't received proper drug training or medical screening, WWE will be using them during their stay in center on TV and tapings, and want them back in the January 17th, but have still not offered them a contract yet. It was William Regal along with Joey Styles who really pushed for the duo to be given another look, and NXT writer Ryan Ward, Billy Gunn, and Bill DeMott are all giving them good reactions. WWE is allowing them to finish their commitments to Ring of Honor on December 14th, but doesn't want them working any more dates for them. Richards claimed he had a neck injury that he was advised not to get in the ring with, so he will be missing the upcoming Go-On tour this week. Triple H continues to be pushing the idea of more tag teams in 2014, and they might even add a special tryout camp just for tag teams.
Okay, first of all,
taking us now, what you call it? Young Bucks get signed. Okay, let's play Yank in the game here for a second. Young Bucks, the Super Smash Bros, and what was the other tag team? Name the other prominent tag team in the Indies right now.
Indies or NXT?
The Bravados.
The Bravados? Question mark?
I never even heard of them.
Bravado Brothers.
The Bravado Brothers. It would be really funny if they just brought them to Colony and Mass.
Oh, hell yeah.
That would be the greatest thing ever.
As long as they kept the gimmick, I wouldn't care.
Here.
Well, that's kind of the thing about a lot of tag teams. Their strength is being actual teams. And, for a long time, in recent times, WWE hasn't really had teams. They've had, like, mid-cards team up and guys who are kind of vaguely related. They kind of make a tag team, like Airborne, for example. But in terms of, like, an actual team that dresses alike and works alike, and that's kind of the thing, too, because, let's take the Colony, for example. Very talented guys in their own right. Or, even Edwards and Richards, but they seem to be stronger as a unit with their, not just their abilities as a tag team, but the idea that they are a team rather than separately. You know what I mean? In terms of, I guess what I'm saying is, in terms of them getting signed to WWE, if they are interested in more tag teams, it's good news for tag teams because a lot of those guys, they have more strength as a team rather than perhaps getting signed as single stars.
Absolutely. I mean, like, a recent example of this that I would like to point out is Rhett Titus and Kenny King. Kenny King has made a name for himself in TNA, and Rhett Titus has sort of reinvented himself in ROH. I always have enjoyed the two of them better together, and American Rules specifically, or American Pit Bulls now, which I really hate, by the way, really hate.
Talk about Stephen, jeez.
Didn't we have the Pit Bulls?
Yes, exactly. They were my favorite team in ECW. I don't understand.
It was Kid Cash and Jingling.
No, Pitbull 1 and Pitbull 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were the Pitbulls in ECW, and then I think Kid Cash and Jamie Young will call themselves the Pitbulls.
I completely missed that one. Oh, okay. Anyway, all I'd like to say is Regis Philbin would like to file a lawsuit here pretty soon.
I can't take that name seriously.
Hell no.
That's probably why they did it. You know how they like to fuck with people when they're first starting out just to see if they'll stick around through it.
Yeah, exactly.
They also can't come up with decent names unless they've been there a long time, and they have more time to think about it.
Right. We'll come up with that when they come up, I think. Hopefully. Let's see here. Is it my turn? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So, speaking of my turn, regarding Cash's own WWE departure, word is that he told some co-workers in confidence that he couldn't understand why he wasn't being pushed to the level of guys he thought he was better than. And those people told management, which sealed his fate. Although others have claimed that Ono was one of the few people who didn't speak openly about his position, and that almost nobody would be there vocalizing frustrations with a crowd for release. Talks with New Japan star Prince Devitt is purely informal and mostly staying in Japan after the NJPW contract expires on January 31st. Apparently, Rey Mysterio was not 100% ready to return, which was pretty fucking obvious due to the gimp that he was fucking at it, and allowing him not to do too much and coming at the end. Christian still isn't cleared from the concussion he suffered a few months back. Man, that guy's really having a hard time with that. But is expected to return in December. A 7-foot 5-inch Indian wrestler named Rajesh Kumar, who calls himself the New Kali, is set to start training in WWE in Japan soon. At least according to IndianExpress.com, though WWE claims no affiliation. So in other words, we're going to have a Kali who is, a poser Kali, which will be interesting, and a Christian.
Well, first of all, did we really need 2 Undertakers? And if we didn't need 2 Undertakers, do we really need 2 Kalis? But, yeah, Captain Charisma, I don't know.
We don't even need 1 Kali.
Here, exactly.
The only way I'll accept this new Kali is if he has the move from, like, Indiana Jones, where he, like, goes, Karima, and tries to, like, rip people's hearts out of their chest. Then I'm okay with that.
I don't know. Well, WWE claims no affiliation, of course, but if we had a younger, more agile, perhaps even more English-speaking Colin, then, obviously WWE wants to keep up that Indian presence. Alright, well, why don't we end this gravy train? Turns out the Minnesota Twins are WWE's registration of the Twins trademark. They filed an extension February 12th to file a formal opposition. That's kind of weird. In an interview with Cody Rhodes, he noted he paid to have the White Intercontinental title recreated himself to show it to management before they approved its usage. He was then refunded. Sean Merriman downplayed his recent tryout, saying he was really just goofing around in the ring. Other people who watched said he got tired fairly easily. And Hulk Hogan was on the Where Are They Now show on the Oprah Network, where he revealed that he actually contemplated suicide following his son's jail time and his divorce and the end of his family show, but was inspired by a young boy running up to him and another fan calling his name during a bad dinner party when he stepped outside.
Okay, as much as nobody wants to see Hulk Hogan put a gun to his head, the last time I heard this story, it was Hulk Hogan getting a phone call just before he was going to put the gun to his head by Layla Ali, as the two of them were hosting the remake of American Gladiators together.
So in other words, Hogan is either garnering attention or suicidal, and incapable, which he should be,
Don't say it, Gunner. I know you want to, but don't say it.
What? Say what?
You know what. You're trying to get me to say it.
Say what? No, I'm really not. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do it.
Do what?
Okay, this entire thing is really confusing.
Never mind. Let's move on.
Sometimes it's just for the better.
Okay, so we're going to move on here. And we're going to jump to TV. 15 minutes time limit. This week we're going to talk about the results from Survivor Series, which literally put you to sleep. Literally. I had to wake up and watch it again. Man, was it bad. I did not enjoy this pay-per-view at all.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that literally fell asleep during this pay-per-view.
There were a lot of. In a word, it was very unspectacular. It's not the kind of show. It wasn't awful from top to bottom, but it's the kind of show that, there's really no reason to see. Which is
Exactly. I mean, there was these spectacular matches, and the rest were pretty snooze-inducing.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Let's see here. The Punk and Bryan match with Rowan and Harper was good-ish. I enjoyed it a little. Ryback and Mark Henry put me to sleep. Alberto and John Cena. Man, they had a great match back in 2011. Too bad they can't have it again. And this storyline, man, I am so done with the Authority storyline. I'm not saying that they should, go away like X-Pac, but they should go away like X-Pac.
the problem with the Authority storyline. It's two big things. Number one is that it's not really about them, but they interject themselves so often into it that it presents the illusion that it is, and that just brings everything down. Like, it really should be about the WWE title and the people who are wrestling, but because back in the day when Vince McMahon was the Authority, and he had Triple H in the Helmsley era, and that was the Authority. They had their differences sometimes, especially when Triple H lost, but it wasn't like Triple H was always getting in Vince's face, trying to explain to him why he deserved to be the face of the company, and Vince was always shutting him down, you know? I mean, and that's really the problem. You know, like, once Big Show came back, and the board of directors kind of forced their hand to give him his job back, then all of a sudden they're on Randy Orton's butt to, you know, get the job done. They're not going to help him and this and that, which of course was a lie. But you know, they still don't treat it like they're a unit. You know, that's basically the Authority versus everybody else. You know what I mean?
Well, if they, when they said we won't get involved, if you believed them, I have some oceanfront Brooklyn Bridge in Arizona to sell you.
Here, there. I mean, basically, I'm thinking about the Authority as being the stockbrokers or what are those people that sell you some sort of financial product? They're out for your money. They don't have your back. They just want your money so they can pad their pockets, basically.
Well, and it's also very lazy and basic, and just not even really. There's very little faith in WWE right now, you know, because everything's just so. Like the fact that, you know, let's take not to bring Daniel Bryan up again, but, you know, here's a guy who got screwed with force saying he could be main events. And, you know, the logical thing to think is that if eventually he's going to get his, he's going to get his. But, nah, we're going to put Big Show in his. And then you have this main event with the Big Show where they say flat out, you know, there's not going to be any interruptions, no interference. Instead, we're going to come out and interfere and interrupt it. And Orton's going to RKO the opponent. So obviously Big Show is going to get his, you know, he's going to be madder than ever to try and get to the Authority because they, you know, screwed up his title match. No, not really. We're going to have John Cena face Orton. We're going to have it for both belts.
Which, by the way, we'll talk about in the next segment. What makes me angriest about this is the fact that they just... It's like The Walking Dead, okay, so The Walking Dead is set up like this. Resolve... First 5 minutes is resolve the first cliffhanger. The cliffhanger from the last episode. Then it's 20 minutes of nothing. It's either Carl bitching or the governor crying. And then there's zombies in the middle there to break it up. And for like 5 minutes. You know, and they're in danger, or somebody dies, or something. And then 20 minutes, more of nothing. Nothing, and then cliffhanger, end the show. What the Authority is doing is we have a pay-per-view, and we're promised something. But within the first 5 minutes of the pay-per-view, or within the first 5 minutes of the Raw after the pay-per-view, it's nullified. Then we have a month of nothing. Then we have another pay-per-view, and we have something. Something happens. A little something happens. But not enough to actually change anything that's really going on with the main characters involved. And then we wait another month, and then nothing happens. And then we have a cliffhanger, which is where we are right now. It's so frustrating to me to watch them spin their wheels with this, to have it quote slow burn, when in all reality, they watch this as bad as the Invasion storyline.
They're under the assumption that they are the most important thing, or rather the most interesting thing on the show, and that when all of this leads to the, you know, big WrestleMania payoff of Triple H versus whoever Vince McMahon gets to be on in his corner for control of the company or whatever, they assume that, you know, all this is going to be worth it, when it's really not. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, they even know, that's the thing, they even know that it's not the true main event. I mean, obviously it's not, because, you know, it's not like it's Triple H versus Big Show as the main event. You know, it's about the titles, right? And even when WrestleMania comes around, it's not going to be Triple H versus whoever. The main event is going to be in the middle of the show, like Triple H and Lesnar, or Triple H and Undertaker. That much like the Triple H and Lesnar story. You know, the interest really is extremely fleeting there. The storyline, first of all, is happening really no reason. And they're having a heck of a time trying to drag it out until WrestleMania. And that's really what they're doing, is it's just filler until WrestleMania, when all the plans they've made a year in advance can start to come to fruition. But again, it takes a real toll on the main event scene, because now you have John Cena versus Randy Orton, two more guys who they desperately want to be, like top stars. And obviously Cena is their top star, but what I mean is they desperately want it to be something like Rock and Austin, which it just isn't. And, I can only assume part of it is because that whole, wanting the ratings to go up, but when in fact that's really not what's happening.
No, what's happening is that they're stemming the wound. They're trying to stop it from bleeding, when in actuality what they should have, what the problem is that Daniel Bryan is not in Daniel Bryan and CM Punk aren't in the storylines anymore. And they're just sitting there, on the side, playing with the Wyatts and playing with, the Shield, trying to get them, quote, over. But in reality, one of the Randy Ortons or the John Cena should be feuding with them. One of the Daniel Bryans or the CM Punks should be in the title scene. And I am just so angry. I can't wait to get into that part of the show today, because I have something to say about it, and I'm going to say it, and it's going to be interesting.
Can we at least all agree that yay, Mark Henry is back?
Oh, yes.
He got his wig split.
Quite literally.
Thank God he got rid of those hair extensions. It was looking kind of bad for a while there. Especially that one time on Raw where it fell out.
Yeah, that's, you mentioned Punk and Bryan. Really, that's one thing that they, took Bryan out of the main event. Punk they can't have in this, even though they kind of hinted it in the past week, with Punk making a jab at the Authority and supposedly the Shield attacking him on Raw, presumably because of what he said. But, if you put a guy like Punk in this storyline, he's pretty much, he'll just destroy him. It really doesn't make sense for him to do anything more than just destroy the Authority in a way that Daniel Bryan sort of did, but not really. And yeah, that's basically what it is. You got Bryan and Punk
waiting for the wings to actually do something, and then you have basically the henchmen worrying about those two, when in actuality they should be worrying about the main event scene. So my question is, are we going to see? I just want to talk about the future. I don't even want to talk about this terrible pay-per-view. It wasn't bad. Let's get this straight. It wasn't terrible, but it was something that you could skip, read the spoilers, watch Raw into the next week, and not feel like you missed anything.
They rematched half the matches on Raw next night anyway.
Exactly. That's the big sticking point in my craw. Did we really need to see a repeat of the Divas Survivor Series match?
Nope.
Why couldn't we have a repeat of the Survivor Series elimination match with Usos and Cody and Goldust and Ray and the Shield and the Real Americans? That one was at least fun.
Anybody guess what my match this week is going to be? It was
By the way, the Divas match at Survivor Series was actually longer than the WWE title match for the show.
Wow, that is fucking pathetic.
Only by about 20 seconds or so. That's
super sad. Super sad.
That should just tell you everything right there. But show and order was never really meant to be a match. It was meant to, fill time. And, you bring up the ropes and all that. That's one facet of the show that was the attention to the tag team division, which is great. But,
okay, scratch that. Scratch it all. Big E Langston winning the Intercontinental title is quite frankly the biggest moment of the night. And
Pretty much, yeah.
I thought he already had the title and was defending it.
It might have been. It might have been that way. Either way, Biggie Langston getting that pop after he won the Intercontinental title was probably one of the best things, like, in the past month of wrestling.
The only thing I worry about that is, for Langston to win the title, they had to take it off the backs. A lot of people were saying against the Access Circus. The problem with the Access Circus is they didn't really, just having the title doesn't make it so, I mean, they really did nothing with that, or the fact that he had the title. And part of me is really afraid they could easily do something like if they, neglected it.
It wasn't, I think, I really think that it came from that vote that happened a couple weeks ago when he was facing Randy Orton. If that vote wasn't rigged, which I don't think it was, because it was a shock to Michael Cole, at least, or at least I believed it was a shock to Michael Cole. He's popular, and he's getting more popular as he goes on. Must be the John Cena love.
Yeah. But again, if he's got all the potential to be a good star, but they have to actually follow up on that. Just giving him the title instead of doing that.
God forbid they follow up on somebody that isn't Randy Orton or John Cena. And Jesus Christ, Punk, Brian. I mean, like 2 years ago, we were sitting here saying, "Oh man, these guys are ready." Ziggler, Del Rio, Christian, Jack Swagger, even.
Kofi Kingston.
Oh my God! Don't even start with Kofi. Kofi should have been the first WWE champion that was. How can I put this nicely?
Born in Africa.
More black than The Rock.
Yeah, ironically, a lot of those guys, I think Kofi and even Henry himself, both of those guys were on the cusp because of feuds with Randy Orton.
Isn't that weird?
Very. Let's wrap it up, guys.
Wrap it up.
And it's not that we need 12 different champions a year, but, I mean, Cena versus it's your main event.
Again.
A match that wasn't that interesting, 4 or 5 years ago.
6 or 7 years ago, that entire year when they feuded. If you guys are familiar with Orton DJs like a mad cunt. Alright, so that's it for 15 minutes time, man. But do you got a song to go out to?
We sure do, and it's called Let's Get Hardcore, which ironically is the same thing I told Gunner's mom last night. Let's go!
And do it all again. Hardcore!
Alright, ladies and gents, we will be right back with segment 3, the kayfabe issue.